Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we have a bit of a double feature. Two kind of things have popped up in the World of Warships Legends community. The first one, the devs did listen, like literally 15 minutes after I posted my how I would fix Stellar Clash. The devs went ahead and posted that they are going to actually be buffing and nerfing some ships and making some changes. Some of the changes I actually kind of suggested, so I'm going to say that 15 minutes of leave time, totally me. They totally didn't have it planned beforehand. It was all me. I know it's not. The other thing is, if you've been kind of paying attention to the sort of ARG that Wargaming has been putting on called Code Hunt, that's been solved. So they've been putting out a bunch of codes. I'm going to walk you guys through how to break all of the codes, what you need to do in order to break them, then show you how to descramble and get a fun new little patch. So to cover, we have patch notes for Stellar Clash, which are much needed, and we have a brand new patch code that takes a little bit of work, but of course we'll just end up giving you the code. So let's go ahead and dive on in. First thing is first, let's go ahead and talk about those Stellar Clash patch notes. First off, we have two ships that got a buff, one that got a nerf, and then, thank God, we have some matchmaking changes. So first things first, Galaxy. It needed a buff, and it got it. 15% more accurate overall. AP shells ricochet check angles are increased from 60 to 75 degrees. Guaranteed ricochet angles are improved from 75 to 80. And then the penetration of AP shells is increased to about 9%. Also, individual parts of the ship now have less HP, so it soaks damage slower. This also allows you to relatively reliably penetrate enemy ships at sharp angles without ricocheting, and then her AP shells are now quite dangerous. She's also able to absorb damage much better. That seems good. That seems like she's got a buff, especially to deal with All Destroyer, because you could find one broadside and do nothing with it, and it was just dumb. It really, really was. Anyways, next on to Rover, which actually received a small nerf. Rover's engine and steering gear are now more vulnerable to incapacitation. This will make Rover more easy to stop and pin down, making it harder for the ship to escape HE shelling. And this is overall good because I don't know about you, but definitely the way to play Rover is kind of just barely stay out of spot angle, be sneaky. If someone else decides to start capping and you're available, hit them once or twice with HE shells, run away. So helping out with that, this is definitely going to be a benefit. Finally, All Destroyer did also receive a couple of buffs. AP shells ricochet check angles are increased from 45 to 60 degrees, and then the guaranteed ricochet angles are improved from 60 to 75. Like Galaxy, this allows you to more reliably penetrate enemy ships at an angle. Always good things to hear. Always good that we get that. All Destroyer, I don't know if it really needed too much of a buff, because it definitely feels like if it can survive those opening seconds, it's good. Like if it can survive the opening minutes and it can get a heal in, it's fine. It's probably going to win or tie because a Rover is still alive and resetting you from afar. Anyways, matchmaking changes. Matchmaking should now force games to start after 2 minutes of searching if there are more than 3 players. Then, if there aren't enough players to fill the human slots, it will fill them with bots. So that means now what we are most likely to see is if people don't flock to the Galaxy to get its points to go ahead and play that, if we can't get even matchmaking in there, what will happen is the Galaxies will probably be played by bots, because if the Rover and All Destroyer stay as popular as they are, then it's really only the Galaxy that is missing those players, and hopefully they will be start to be played by the bots, or maybe these buffs and nerfs will change what are the preferred ships. Would have liked to have seen, you know, random spawns, but this is at least a step. They're showing they're at least paying attention to like win rates and ratios, and realizing that this game mode has been somewhat poorly received by the audience overall. Okay, so that is the Stellar Clash patch notes. Now let's get into the code breaking thing. And what this was is you really just needed to pay attention to the main like Facebook feed or Instagram page of World of Warships, and then what you would be able to do is if you kind of saw the codes, you'd put them together. So first one that came out was this Stellar Clash stream that is actually today, and you see a phone number, a T7 pad up there. and the code is 7766. If you go on your phone and you remember the old days of not having a full QWERTY keyboard available to you, and you remember typing out things with T7, you know that spells RN, so that's the first part of the code. Next, a couple days later, this poster came out. It said Stellar Ships with hex code. The hex is 3352, which when you convert hex code into, I think it's ASCII text on this one, you get 3R. Next, we have binary. So binary, it's the language of computers. It's zeros and ones. You convert the binary to text, you get T1. Next, you have right up here, you have the Stellar Container and Chips poster, and when you convert that Morse code, you get D and E. And then finally, yesterday, or today for me, yesterday for when you're listening to this video, you have this right up here, and right in the top right hand corner of Space Fishy, you can see some ASCII that is 084085. You convert that to text and it reads TU. So if you're playing along at home, that is RN3R T1DETU, which doesn't spell anything. So if you plug that in, it doesn't really work. But if you go ahead and kind of pay attention to their social media, one of the key phrases they like to use is turn the tide, and that doesn't work. But what does work is tide turner, and that is what this kind of translates to. So yeah, that's what we have. You throw that on into wowslegends.com/code redeemer, and you get a nice little patch, and that's really cool. Feedback overall on this, as someone who's come from the Battlefield community and is used to those Easter eggs and the crazy amount of code breaking that you have to usually do in order to unlock those, this was a nice walk in the park compared to that. Like, they literally gave you what kind of code that you need to use to break it. And it was relatively easy, but it was still nice. It's still nice to get a free patch for them, and hey, I'll take it. So yeah, guys, that's what we have today. Patch notes and free patch code that you had to do a little bit of legwork for. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be streaming tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern time, over on the Twitch channel. That is linked down in the comments below. And guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a fantastic weekend. See ya.